Hello and welcome. We are back at Barrow for Podium 5K, sponsored by Sports Shoes and of course New Balance. We've got some stellar lineups both on the male and female side. The World Champs is currently going on, but this is the focus for the Saturday night here at Barrowfield. We've got James West on the lineup, Sam Charlton, Hannah Nuttall, of course Alex Bell as well, Phily Bowden in there, 2:29 marathoners. So we've got a mix of 1500 and 5K runners and marathoners here tonight. We're looking forward to it. We've got one race to go before the elites take to the track, so let's get to it. But one man to watch, James Gormley. He's wearing that original Oregon Track Club vest. Lovely colours. If you're a fan of the sport, you know the history of Oregon Track Club. But he goes in this 3:37 1500 metre man. Studies out at Oregon University as well. Coached under the legend that is Jerry Schumacher. So we've got a few more to come in the time trial, which is going to be after this. It looks like James West and Gormley up front at the moment. Westy is without his training partners, Mella and Adam Craig. I thought they were going to be here at one point. I did think they might help pace Westy to get that 5K qualification for the World Road Running Championships, which takes place the 1st of October out in Riga. The qualification mark for that is either a 13:25 on the track for a guy or a 13:45 on the road. Westy's personal best, 13:42. That came with the British Championships. He is your 5,000 metre British champion. He beat in a Mill Caress that day. Some call it an upset, some saw it coming, especially how the race panned out. It was almost evident he was going to be to the fore towards the end of that race. That's Akora Smart up front as well. He's doing a good bit of early running. He's a huge talent coming through the ranks, this man. Good to see him up at these podium events. As they negotiate this, the first turn here, lap of the circuit is 1,000 metres, 1 kilometre. And we're going to see it in action as well for that time trial. James West is going to double back for that. And I'll just talk about the prize money on offer. If he wins this one, it's £500, 200 for second and 100 for third. For the time trial later though, £1,000 on offer. If he wins that, he's going to have stiffer opposition though. He's got Joe Wigfield in there as well. But this is good running. You can see single file. This is going to be the headwind then. All the way up this straight is a stiff old breeze, which is going to toy with these runners. But Westy looks primed, he looks focused, he looks ready. He's fresh off a training stint out in St. Moritz. He had a little hiccup post-British Champs, a little, a bad hamstring. I don't think it was too little, but a few weeks of rest and recovery for him. Corey Smart still leading the way. Then Westy tucked in behind. James Gormley is complete single file. We're going to try and bring you a little bit of action from the women as well. We've got Hannah Nuttall in here. Calli Thackery was due to race. I didn't see her on the start line. She might be further back. I'll try and pick her out. She's down to do the time trial as well, but she did have a very strong run in Cardiff last weekend. 15:29 for her for the win. It's good to see her back actually, her season picking up as it's gone on. I think she had a bit of a rocky start to it. That may have been down to pacing the old London Marathon. Obviously pacing her training partner Sam Harrison, but seems to have kind of really started to improve and having a good trajectory going into the what you call the road season. It's a funny time of year for many of these athletes. They have to pick out their races. I can see Calli Thackery, she's leading. Hannah Nuttall, she's also leading the Spaniard Cristina Ruiz in there. Trains 2:41 first kilometre, so it's quick. That's 13:20 pace for 5K. It looks good. Akora Smart, he might be doing a bit of pacing. Smiles at the camera. If not, he's looking very comfortable indeed. James Gormley looks relaxed as well. He's going to have a good bit of strength in his legs. Like I said before, based himself out at Oregon University. Good bit of coaching under Jerry Schumacher, one would presume, up there. He's running 1500 personal best this year as well. 3:37. Perhaps he's someone not many know of. He's almost gone a little bit under the radar, underrated, but he is slowly working his way up these ranks. And I had to take one double look at those 1500 metre rankings not too long ago, because it is sickening the talent we have in the UK. So many men sub 3:40. And even on the world scene, the 1500 metre heats, you'll have to keep me posted on those 1500 heats. I've missed them. Of course, I'm up here at Barrowford. No place I'd rather be. But I know they've gone down, so I hope you're all split screening. Thank you for joining. We've got that time trial event coming up next as well, so we'll try and keep an eye on that women's race. But Thackery was leading Cristina Ruiz, who's a 15:25 5,000 metre runner from Spain. She's going to end her season here I spoke to her just before the race. She said she's off on holiday after. I said, where to? She said Budapest, of course. She's going to go and watch the World Championships. She's got training partners. She's training partner of Daniel Arsa, who ran in those 3,000 metre steeplechase heats earlier today. She's going to go out there and watch him on Tuesday night. So one way to spend your off-season. So we've got a little pack here now. Westy's gone to the front. He felt it slow a little bit. The others are going to look at him and say, you're going to have to do the running, sir. We've got Liam Rawlings in here. I believe he was in the Birmingham University vest. He's just dropped back a little bit. He's a former Inter-Counties cross-country champion back in 2021. It's a Leeds City in there, man in there as well. Try and identify him, but a good crop of athletes. I believe that's John Beattie, in fact, 37 years of age, still going strong. And he's going to be not far off his 5K PB if he keeps this going. We're going to get a 2K split, we hope. And Chris Barnes up there on the track. But this is your traditional. I know last time we had Mark Scott. Thank you for tuning in on that. That was a superb race. We saw Mark Scott a couple months ago up here. Chris Barnes thought he'd try and make it a little bit quicker by changing that start and finish gantry, but he's gone back to the old way. 5:14 on the clock with 3 laps to run. There we go. Looking very relaxed, all of them at the moment. We've got Mike Jedson in here as well, Fintan Stewart, Chris Fielding, Finn Bacon, Joe Sager, James Tuttle in this one. We'll try and keep an eye on those women, identify a few of those, but BC just doing his best to hang on there. Cora Smart as well, doing a terrific job. He's still in contention. Westy just deciding we're we're through. We're going to come up to halfway, so we're through the 2K mark, right around that kind of halfway point just about now. This top bend from the finish line, ladies and gentlemen, to about here is 400 meters or so. Might not look it, but looking very smooth, and so is James Gormley. But Westy, what a story he had. He spent a few years, you know, he was based out in America, similar to James Gormley, over at Oregon University as well. They're friends, they'll know each other well. And, you know, 3:34 he ran in 2020, the back end of 2020 at the Toa Diamond League, I remember it. And that season he had a load of offers on the table and kind of took a little bit of a risk, a little bit of a gamble. When you've just run your personal best, your lifetime best, you're going to stick with your coach. That's obvious. He decided to stick with his coach, and of course, things just change. You never know what's going to happen in this sport. A little bit of a dip in form, and Jerry Schumacher coming into Oregon as well. And, you know, there was talks of a new night group forming out in America. Westy was kind of banking on that, training with the likes of Cooper Tier and Cole Hocker, and it just fell through, and then found himself in a very sticky situation, a situation that many athletes at his level can find themselves in, where you're funding yourself, you're on your own, you're left to your own devices out there, and performances speak in this sport, and you have to rely on them, unfortunately. But you know, you get that hunger, that desire to get back into it and try and get right back up there to the elite end, to the pointy end of this sport, and that's something Westy's done. And then those performances came. British indoor champion, of course, in talks with New Balance, signs with New Balance, and of course the rest is history. He's now based with Helen Clitheroe, and again, even that, you know, when you speak to him, it was a little bit of a gamble. He had Helen Clitheroe, he could work with all the team in New Balance Boston as well. He chose to work with Helen, stay in the UK, move himself up to Manchester, and it's a decision which is paying off. He's the British 5,000 metre champion. He's the British indoor 3,000 metre champion. He's having a fantastic year, and he might not have the flashy times yet, but he's got the results. And in a world where times, everyone just focuses on them, this man is winning races. And it's interesting because you look at the way the World Championships going, and that qualification system at the World Championships, you know, you see the heats today, they've scrapped fastest losers. What kind of effect does that have on the runners like James West, where you can make the final and you've just got to be in contention and have a good kick? You know, you haven't necessarily got to sort of go to the front and shoot for one of those fastest loser spots, and I do feel like that changes the dynamic. I do feel like that is one reason British athletics should be looking at people who may not have a quicker time, but they may be able to do it in a slower tactical race and still qualify for a final. But for now, James Gormley takes it up there. James West sits in second. 3 laps done here. Gormley looking very, very relaxed. Well, not long ago, 3:37 down at 2T. It was awful conditions that day. It didn't stop any of them from running quick. The whole field ran pretty much inside 3:37. 3:35, that was won by Sam Tennant. All the athletes absolutely drenched. It was peeing down there, but boy, did they run quick, and this man included. He looks ever so relaxed. He knows what he's doing. Westy then hot on his heels as well. Akoro Smart just fading back a little bit. I believe that is Mike Jensen in third. We'll try and get a confirmation on him, but he's having a very good run, and this is the crunch point in a 5K. It always is. Gormley just checking his shoulder. They're just feeling each other out, these two now. We're going to get a good indication of what they're on for when we come back through that gantry for the last lap. We'll hear that bell sound with just under a kilometre to go. We had to roughly work out their time. We do know that first kilometre was inside, well, it's 2:40, wasn't it? So 13:20 or so pace. It is a quick first kilometre. They had the wind on their backs for a lot of it. But what was a pack is now just two, with less than a mile to run. Gormley and West in this one, both based out in Oregon. Well, they meet here from Oregon to Barrowford. Here they go, 500 pounds on offer. The difference to second place, they're only going to take home 200 pounds. Third place, 100 pounds. So some good prize money for these gents. See if they need any more motivation at this stage in the race. We've got about 1,200, 1,300 meters to run. We'll come up and hear the sound of the bell. It's a windy old night. If you can't hear it already, we'll keep one eye on this women's race as you come down. Calli Thackery has broken clear. She is your lead female by quite some way at the moment. Cristiana Ruiz, the Spaniard, in second place. Hannah Nuttall working well, you can see on the far side of the track as well, in third. Those are your top three. Phily Bowden, I believe, a little bit further back in this one. She's isolated on her own. Not getting much shelter from these men in this one. But here we go, then a lap to go, just coming up. Gormley and Westy. It's been like this for the last kilometre or so. A great atmosphere here at Barrowford. This event sponsored by New Balance and SportsShoes, of course. 11:08 on the clock then. Well, can we see something around about? It's under a kilometre, so if we saw a 2:48, we'd see we're going to be right on that 13:45 mark. If we saw a 2:40 or so last kilometre, we're going to be inside 14 minutes, that's for sure. Corey Smart working hard. John Beattie a bit further back. There'll be a few men who are on that 14-minute mark, 14:10. What can these two do over this last lap? This is 800 metres to go. Westy, the racer in him, is on the shoulder of Gormley. He knows he's got to squeeze it, Gormley. They both come from a 1,500-metre background. They both, perhaps, well, Westy, we know, he's made it clear he wants to step up to the 5,000. It's worked in a race environment for him so far. He hasn't had the time to probably prove his fitness or prove his worth over this event. James Gormley perhaps dabbling as well with the 5,000 metres himself. So we soak it up. Gormley just gets a gap on Westy. It's just a metre. Will it be enough? What I can say, they've got the wind on their backs at the moment. They're going to have a nasty old headwind coming into that finish line gantry. So kicking now, will you pay the price as you go into the wind? It's one of those decisions athletes have to make. Do they save energy with the wind and then take it so they have a little bit more into the wind, or do they really accelerate with the wind and then just, try their luck into a headwind to finish up? James Gormley has broken the British 5,000 metre champion at this moment in time. The man who studies out in Oregon, that Joe Schumacher training paying off. I said before, he's probably a little bit underrated. Pick it up, drive, he says. He wants to go. He's broken Westy. And he's going to kick again. Look at this, James Gormley. James West in behind, fresh off an altitude stint. He's going to come back and do that 1,000 metre time trial. But Gormley has 20 or so metres and he has broken the British champion in the space of 200 metres or so. That is terrific running. It looks like he's got more to boot as well. He looks fresh, he looks full of beans. He's a man in form. He's running a terrific 1,500 metre season so far as well. He stepped up to the 5K. It's that point in the season where you're racing for the top prize, and that's cash in this sport. What a run from James Gormley. Remember the name. He is someone who is just building through these ranks as well. Perhaps you haven't heard his name yet, but there he is, Gormley. Time on the clock, 13:50. I think he was inside, 13:45 or so. Westy fading back for second place. A good run. Had to do the work himself mid-race, that's for sure. 14 minutes or so. He's perhaps got that. Well, he's going to take home £200. He's perhaps got that time chart in mind to come. We're looking forward to that. 14:09 there for third place. Edinburgh University athlete. That's Peter Bradshaw coming through. What a run from him. 14:18 into windy conditions. Okoro Smart, who did that early running, he wasn't pacing. He was just happy to take it out hot. 14:25. Here she comes in, Calli Thackery. She won last weekend in Cardiff. She's going to win here in Barrowford as well. A lovely payday for her over the last couple weeks. She's going to be hunted down by a few men all on her own. She's done it the hard way. Well done to Calli. She's going to be 15:36 on the clock. Christiana Ruiz as well. Good battle here for second place. She'll take home £200 prize money. She'll end her season, the Spaniard. And in third, Hannah Nuttall. Can she get inside 16 minutes? She's going to dip inside it as well. 15:53. Good running from her. Phily Bowden out there somewhere on the course. So here with James Gormley, winner of that men's 5K. Bit of an upset, beating friend James West.
Yeah, no, we're good, mate.
Good. How was that today?
It was good. No, I felt really good. Like 2:40 first K, and I felt all right. Like legs are there today because felt all right. And then yeah, no, just super happy to kind of like move through, and then put in like 2K. I was like, let's get this moving, get slowed a bit, and yeah, I just tried to like not let James come on. If he was there with like 100 to go, I mean he's a fast guy, so I just wanted to burn up the hill and try and get a gap on the hill. Just worked out today. Yeah, were you worried with a lap to go, even 800 to go? He was sitting right on your shoulder. You're always going to, he's a quality athlete, British 5K champion. Yeah, he's there, you know, he's dangerous. So yeah, no, I was worried. I was still looking behind me with like 300 to go, kind of like half thinking he was going to come and get me. So didn't today though, so it's a good day for me.
You're having a great season. Yeah, talk about that season. Talk about perhaps why you think you're having such a good season.
Honestly, like 2021 was like a really bad year for me. I had like a whole year off. Well, maybe 2020 in fact. Late 2020 I got like COVID. Had a struggle for like 6 months to a year, like not training properly. Went out to Oregon. First year was kind of just building back. Underperformed like to where I was, but this last year kind of been going strength to strength. Early season wasn't great, but kind of moved coach. Oregon Track Club with Ben Thomas, who's the guy who recruited me. And I've kind of just gone from like strength to strength, just been improving so quick the last 3 months. Out in Belgium last few weeks training with like Cole Hocker and a few of the other OTC boys, and it's just training with top quality guys and believing in yourself really.
Ben Thomas, that might have been what you said to me out on the course. Not
like,
Joey Schumacher, Ben Thomas.
Joey helped me a lot, but
okay.
I moved to Ben.
Yes, brilliant.
Get credit where it's due.
Exactly that. Are you going to continue with Ben? What's your plans going forward?
I mean, it's complicated, like being back in the UK. I'd love to be coached by Ben. I'd love to bet. There's loads of options in the UK. Like honestly, it depends how things go. Honestly, like I can't really speak to what's going to happen. Yeah. But I mean, Ben's a great coach, and I'd like him to keep coaching me. But there's other options. I'd like to be coached by. There's loads of good options in the UK. So who knows? Well, you're running very well, mate. What's next for you, or is that the end of the season? No, I'll keep it going. Going a mile in Stirling. On Saturday, trying to run sub 4 for the first time, and then kind of really gearing up for the World Road Trials. That's the big aim. Top 2 there. Awesome. Well, good luck there, James. Cheers. Thank you very much. Bye bye.